type of person and experiencing the same difficulties over and over again. And we understand that. And it's like, regardless if the person is a different person, you feel like, why am I going through the same thing again with this person that I went through with the last person? You know? And then I'm challenging you, and I'm saying, perhaps you saw the red flags. Perhaps you saw the things that you had on your list as deal breakers, and you still went forward with that relationship for whatever reason. You know, and you can list the reasons for yourself. We don't know if it was loneliness. We don't know if the person just had some other qualities that you felt were strong enough to sustain the relationship. But you saw the red flags, you saw the deal breakers, and you still went ahead with that relationship. Has anyone ever done that? If you've done that, give me a one. Put a one in the comment. If you met someone, you knew there was just something that was off about it, but you were so, like, maybe entranced by the person. Maybe you connected for a while over the phone, or you connected for a while on Facebook or something, and you just felt a strong connection to that person. You didn't know what it was, but then you saw some red flags. You saw some things that you knew that you didn't want to tolerate in a relationship. You knew you didn't want to handle in a relationship. And then, you know what? Maybe you thought, I could change that person. I could fix that person, you know? And, at one point in my life, I found myself in that situation. You know, I was in a relationship with someone. The person showed me their abusive side. The person showed me that they were abusive early in the relationship. And I still stayed in that relationship for 2.5 years until I feared for my life and I had to leave in the middle of the night. That's a true story, y'all. And at the time, I was a Marine. At the time, I was a Marine Corps drill instructor, rough and tough and all that stuff. But I had somebody in my life that was being abusive to me, and I had to get out. I had to get out. If I valued my life, I had to get out. So, guys, sometimes we see those red flags, we see all the indications, and we still stay in those relationships. Put a one in the comment if you've done that too. If you stayed in a relationship that you knew you should have gotten out of. And the main thing is that I knew this before I got serious. I knew this before we moved in, before I committed. I knew this person was abusive. But the awareness that I have right now in my life, the level of just consciousness that I'm at right now in my life, that could never happen again. And that's what we're trying to get everybody to the place and the point where a woman cannot, come into your life. We're talking today about the things that should make you say no, the things that should make you walk away. Right. If you value yourself. Right. And you value if your standards, you keep your standards high, value yourself, and walk away when you see these different kind of issues pop up when you first meet someone. That's what we're talking about. So, what's a deal breaker? Let's look at that. Let's look at what we have as a deal breaker. We know red flags are really serious, and I think, I wanted to talk about deal breakers today, but I think I might just do a special session on red flags because that's how serious it is. Red flags could be the thing that put your life in danger, your finances in danger, your mental health in danger. That's what a red flag could possibly be. But today, let's talk about the deal breakers, Tasha. Let's see.
So deal breakers, you guys, is definitely an important topic when it comes to relationship. But those behaviors or conditions that one partner is unable or unwilling to tolerate in a relationship. And that's something that we definitely need to, work on just going forward when you're looking into your new relationships. Like when the deal breakers present themselves, we have to acknowledge them.
Yeah, you have to acknowledge them, we want to have fun. We want to, do all these kind of things in the group and with our partners. But at the same time, pay attention, keep your eyes open. You see a red flag, you see the deal breakers. stick to your gut. Let your conscience be your guide on that.
Hmm.
All right, and then we have some true or false for you. And can y'all put like a F or a T in the comments on the first one? And so these are the true and the false. Okay, the first one is that most red flags and deal breakers are present when you first meet someone or at the beginning of a new relationship.
Hmm.
Is that true or false? Can we get like a T or a F in the comments if you believe that number one is true or number one is false?
Yeah. And for me, I believe it's true, Simone. Because a lot of times people show you who they are and show you the different red flags in the very beginning, and for whatever reason, we choose to ignore them because we're excited because it's something new. But a lot of times, if we just listen to that person or just watch their behavior, they'll definitely show you the red flags in the very beginning.
But you know what? I think there also, and if anyone agrees with me, let me know. I think there are also some people who know that they have issues that other women might find off putting,
Right.
but those people can still hide the ugliness. They can still hide that dark side. So yeah,
Yep.
a
So
lot of people say it.
Cheryl,
Yeah,
Deborah,
true.
Jennifer, Vertel, the Incredible D, Tammy, all are saying that that's true. Angela said it's true.
It's true. Tell me, have you ever met someone who could hide it? Have you ever met someone who maybe until they really got you sucked in, until they really got you maybe even moving in with them or something like that, they hid those red flags. They
Mm.
knew what you didn't, they hid the deal breakers. And we got to watch out for that.
Yes.
Watch out for the people who can really camouflage, who can really hide and then change on you, in a few months down the road. Okay, number two, true or false? Number two, uh, even though you see the red flags, they do not feel threatening at the time. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you see that somebody is being controlling, and sometimes you might think that's cute. Oh, we're at the restaurant and she's ordering for me. She took initiative to order my food for me. Oh, she's taking initiative to, help me pick out clothes that look better on me. But what if she's controlling? She's controlling she's just trying to control you. She's controlling what you're wearing.
Right. Right. Or maybe even um attempted to isolate you, but you see it as, oh, my new boo just want to spend a lot of time
Wants
with
to
me,
spend a
but
lot of time with
she's
me.
isolating you in a sense of like from family and friends where it's really like overbearing. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's really not she want to spend time with you. She just want to kind of control you. So you'll just, be up
yeah.
under her thumb, if
Right.
you will, for lack of
And
better terms.
that's under the red flag category. The red flags are serious. The deal breakers are things that are, I guess, appropriate for this person, where on another hand, this person might be able to tolerate it. Like, say for example, this person might be able to be with a smoker, and where this person might not be able to tolerate that at all.
Right.
So deal breakers are like just, consistent with who you are as a person, and what you want to tolerate. But red flags, they are like across the board, where you could recognize this person is controlling,
Right.
this person is, demanding.
Right.
So the red flags, that's a whole different category and a whole different level that we're talking about that you have to be aware of. So that's a deeper and more serious level, which we might have to do a whole special class on red flags, y'all.
Right. Like Tina said, it's like Heckle and
Dr. Jekyll
Jekyll
and
and
Mr.
Mr.
Hyde.
Hyde. Yeah.
Yep, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Some people are very good at that. So be wise, be aware, take your time to really get to know someone. Go down the list. Even though the list we showed you yesterday for what you might want in a relationship, you might not need everything specifically.
Right.
The deal breakers that we're going to go over, they might not have bothered you specifically, but still look at them and see if a person, you know, take those boxes and then run.
Exactly. In the opposite direction, not
Opposite
towards them.
direction. Okay, true or false? True or false? Because you feel so great about the connections that are happening between you and your new love interest, you truly believe that the red flags or the deal breakers would be easy to overcome. Tell us if you've been in that situation. Say true or false. I've been in that situation, or say false. I'm able to recognize it and I'm able to run. I'm able to shut the door before she can get in. If you're really good at recognizing the red flags and the things that you cannot tolerate, put, hey, that's false because I can recognize it. I can recognize it.
Definitely.
Yep. Bernie talk about stalking. That's that's
Yeah, that's true,
stalking.
Bernie.
Stalking is definitely, that is a red flag.
A big one.
Oh,
Bright red.
she really likes me. She wants to come over all the time. She wants to text. She wants to call. She wants to text all the time. She just showing up at my job. That's really nice.
Unannounced.
That's really nice. She just wants to surprise me. She's wonderful.
Yeah, Tammy, Cheryl, and Jennifer said true.
True. Yep. Now, number 4 of the true and false. This is number 4 of the true and false. The earlier we acknowledge and respond to entrenched relationship differences, the earlier you acknowledge and respond to the differences, the more likely it is that they will not become deal breakers. Is that true? Has that been true for everyone? Put a T in there if it's been true. Like you've been able to look at the differences early on so that they don't become, deal breakers and cause the relationship to break in the end. The earlier you see it, you acknowledge that you're seeing this,
right?
And you either can discuss it with the person and work through it, or walk away. But let's see more on the deal breakers. Let's see. As the relationship continues, the red flags and deal breakers often persist, increase, or worsen. That's what we found.
Yes, I believe that's true.
You come across a red flag, you come across a deal breaker, you think we can work this out. I love this woman so much. I've been waiting for this woman for so long. You know, we could work through this red flag. Okay, she's a little controlling, or she doesn't want to come with me to see my family. She doesn't even want to say hi to any of my friends. She doesn't want to hang out with me and my friends, but I know she's going to come around, and
right.
and then we can work this through. But as the relationship continues, it gets worse
And worse.
and it increases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely escalates. I would agree with that.
If y'all agree with it, put a 1 in the comment. If you agree that when you see these red flags and deal breakers, they often get worse. Christine, you say yes. Yes. Okay. Some red flags and deal breakers are unpredictable.
I
Okay.
agree.
They're unexpected life events that happen that test a couple's ability to continue and overcome the situation.
Right.
Some deal breakers could be, I don't want your family living with us. you know I don't want your family living with us. That could be a deal breaker.
Right.
If we're going to move in together, it needs to just be us. I really don't want your family living with us. So what if something happens later down the road? What if her sister, her brother, her uncle, her cousin, her nephew, what if that person really needs a place to stay?
Yeah.
Really needs a place to stay.
And I think too that it becomes unpredictable, some of the red flags or the deal breakers, because the person that you meet a lot of times will send their representative, like someone said in the comments just now. They don't present their real self. They present
It's a
the
representative.
representative.
Who said it's a representative? Bernie said they send a representative
So that's
to
how I
hold
can
it down
see,
for a while.
that it is unpredictable. Like you didn't see it coming because they
Right.
presented this whole person that really doesn't exist.
Yeah. And sometimes some life events happen, they might be wonderful for your partner, but it's not something that you signed up for, you know?
Mm.
What if somebody has to raise a child, you know? Something like that the partner is like, oh, that's really wonderful. I've always wanted to raise a child. But for you, you're like, I'm past that stage.
Right.
That's not what I really want right now.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, Bernie said, yeah, an emergency could happen. An emergency could come up in your family what if a friend needs to move in? What if a whole nother couple needs to move in?
What if it's their ex
no.
that needs to move in, but they don't say it's their ex.
Oh.
It's a friend, supposedly, and then it's the ex.
I bet that's happened to somebody. Wow. What if somebody's ex moved in and you didn't know that was an ex? Oh my goodness. Put a 1 in the comment if y'all have ever had that situation that Tasha just brought up. I don't know. Put a 1 in the comment on that situation. That's a hotmess.com situation.
Yes.
Okay, what can and often does push a situation from workable to unworkable is an unwillingness on the part of either partner to openly discuss their thoughts, feelings, concerns, experience, and needs. Wow, wow,
Mm.
wow. I've heard so many women say, I just can't say that to her. I don't want to tell her that. I mean, you might have just met someone, you might have, you might be starting a new relationship, but for some reason you feel uncomfortable saying to the person, I don't like this, I'm not comfortable with this, I'm not comfortable with that. And because you don't openly discuss your feelings in the beginning, it ends up to be a big problem in the end. Has anyone experienced that? Have you been with someone where either you had a problem with her, or there was something that you didn't like, but you didn't feel comfortable saying it, and you continue with the relationship, and then it ended up being a big issue? If you've had a problem with that, put a number two in the comments. Put a number two. If you've had a problem with a woman, but you didn't feel like you could say to her what it was.
Yeah, and so a lot of people that's responding for the last question, they're saying, nope, no friend, no couples are coming to stay. They got to go stay with family or somewhere else. But no, that's
No
not going
friends
to
can
happen.
stay, no couples can stay. They got to stay with family. Debbie said, what did Debbie say?
Debbie said, when my wife died, one of her former partners from years ago had the nerve to ask me to move in, and she said no. Wow, that's
Yeah,
yeah, that it
yeah.
happens.
That's
That
bold.
wow, that's bold.
That's bold. Okay. Somebody tell us if you've been in a situation where you didn't feel comfortable telling the person you didn't like what they were doing. And because you didn't tell them that, you ended up in this relationship where maybe that situation escalated. I think Jennifer is saying that. Put a number two if you had that situation, you didn't feel
Jennifer
comfortable.
Bernie. Hmm.
You didn't say, I don't like this. I don't like that. Maybe I don't like the way your children talk to you. Maybe I don't like your children jumping all over the couch.
Right,
Maybe you didn't want to offend a person.
right.
You didn't want
They
to
don't
offend them.
clean up behind themselves or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, when you are faced with true deal breakers, that's when you realize that the fundamental differences are too great to bridge the gap between you and your partner. When you run into some true deal breakers, that's when you realize, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't work with this. If you've been in that situation, put a three right there. And don't worry, guys, at the end, for your homework, you're going to get a chance to talk to us about some of the situations and some of the deal breakers. You get a chance to tell us. So, what are common relationship deal breakers? Knowing your deal breakers before you're emotionally involved with a woman will save you and her a lot of pain, conflict, and heartache. You
That's
agree?
true. If you know them beforehand.
If you know beforehand. So let's look at some of them, and maybe we could share some experiences of things we knew beforehand. Well, I shared my worst one already, y'all.
Yeah, I have one for you guys. Don't
Family
worry.
conflicts. Family. Now, these are the ones that this is the fill in the blank section, y'all. Family conflicts. For example, not wanting to spend time with your family.
Right. If
Not
you're a
wanting to spend
family
time.
oriented person and for whatever reason, your new companion is not interested
Mm-hmm.
in wanting to spend time with your family.
Because before I met Tasha, I was with a woman. My family and I, we do a lot of things together. When movies were still a thing, you can go to a movie. We used to go to movies all the time together as a family.
Late
And
at night too.
yeah, and I would want her to come and just be a part of all the family fun. And she's like, "Why do we always have to be with your family?" But to me, it wasn't always. But
Mm.
now I have Tasha, and I had to tell Tasha, "Can we please go home, Tasha? Can we leave?" Because Tasha will not leave my mother's house. Can we please go home now? I have to tell Tasha, we don't live here. Can we go home? Yeah, so I love that, and I know a lot of women, who are close to family members, they like when they meet a partner who wants to spend time with their family member. They like that. What about etiquette? Lack of etiquette.
Oh my goodness, you guys. Okay, so you should be able to go to a nice restaurant and act appropriately. Use your manners, use your napkins in your lap, use the correct utensils, the salad fork versus your dinner fork. Say please and thank you.
But most importantly with the restaurant, if you take a girl on a date or she takes you on a date, y'all get to the restaurant and she is being rude and mean to the waiter and and everything, all of her dishes don't taste right. She's fussing about all the dishes. Poor etiquette.
Yeah,
She needs to be able to introduce people appropriately, also.
that's true.
Have y'all been in that situation where you go to a party with a girl, that's your girl, maybe it's your girl, maybe it's just a date. And she meets her friends, she's talking to her friends, and you're just standing there like, okay, can you introduce me now? Feeling awkward. So she just needs to have those basic etiquettes in place.
Yeah, yeah. So the on the live, people are saying like they've had where they only want to see them at night, at nighttime, and never in public. They don't respect their feelings or how that person feels.
Somebody just wants to see you at night.
Yeah, they said. Deborah said etiquette, not to eat with your mouth open.
Oh yeah, that's a deal. That's a deal breaker for me too, Debbie. Oh man, the gum. I don't chew gum, but when somebody is just like the gum champion chewer and popping that gum, yeah.
And Raquel said she likes when her current partner, that whoever she's dating at the moment, they can get along with the family because they'll go hang out, with her mom, and they'll shop while Vertel just hangs out at the food court.
Yeah, if somebody can shop with your friend, if you don't like to shop that much, like be all in the mall when there were a real popping thing,
right,
or the other stores, and you and your girl could go shopping with your sister or something like that. Yeah, yeah, I like that too. Like with us, we go shopping for my mom, and Tasha will do that. Like I said before, she'll go shopping for my mom, take her to the doctor, everything. So yeah, it's wonderful. Somebody who's excessively vain. Have y'all met somebody like that who thinks very highly of themselves? Maybe they're always in the mirror. Maybe they're always taking selfies. Oh, excessively vain. Okay. And then what about the person who's cheap?
Nothing wrong with saving, you guys, but it's the frugals. It needs to be in moderation.
Moderation, because it's okay to be frugal to a point, you know, but it needs to be in moderation. If somebody takes you out, and they're looking at you like, okay, aren't you paying your half? I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, y'all, about who's paying and so on and so forth.
Or even like, say for instance, if it's date night and when it's your turn to pay, you might, go a little lavish.
Yes.
But when it's time for her to pay, I mean, or date night and she decides to pay, or however you guys work it out, you guys wind up McDonald's, Burger King, Sonic. I don't know, but it's not.
Or even takeout because she doesn't want to tip. Even takeout.
Yeah, that's a good point. She doesn't want to tip.
That's another thing. What about the person who might be suffering from low self-esteem, And that's a deal breaker because you could meet the person and you know when they're suffering from low self-esteem. You can tell. You can tell some of the symptoms, like some of the characteristics. If you have met somebody and you can tell that she doesn't think highly of herself, that you're not going to be good enough for her, or that she's not good enough for you, if she's thinking it's not going to be a good fit.
Right.
If you've met a woman and she's suffering from low self-esteem and hasn't thought highly of herself, put a one in the comment.
Yeah. Christine said that makes her crazy with the low self-esteem. In regards to, just to jump back to the cheap frugalness, some people say they conveniently forget their wallet. They're always on their phone because they're so vain. I guess they're just thinking about themselves.
Taking pictures?
Or taking pictures, yep.
Yeah, conveniently forget your wallet all the time.
All the time.
All the time. That's that's a deal breaker. Like, why can't you remember stuff? What about the person who just tries to impress you with her materialistic things? The person who's obsessed with money, and just trying to impress you. Maybe not necessarily sharing the money with you, but trying to impress you. And one time on one of the singles mingles, somebody mentioned that they don't want a woman who's constantly trying to impress them with what she has. Is that a deal breaker for anyone here? a woman who's trying to impress you with her materialistic things, put a one in the
Yeah.
comment if that's a deal breaker for you.
Right. Tina said in regards to the self esteem, a lot of time it gets disguised with the high fashion, with the latest high fashion.
Yep.
They're able to disguise the low self esteem.
And maybe that goes hand in hand with, you know, they're disguising their self esteem with materialistic things.
Yes.
You know, they're dressed up all nice and pretty, but still they don't feel good about themselves. And it's a deeper internal issue.
Oh, wow. So someone else said that they couldn't take them on a date because they constantly gave their grown son money to repair someone else's vehicle that he had damaged.
Oh,
Wow. Okay.
so the person couldn't take you on a date.
Deborah says she likes simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
You can't buy me. She's Christine said you can't buy her. She got her own.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. And you don't want somebody to buy you. You don't want somebody to buy you. I mean, it's nice once you establish a strong relationship